Before we dive into an amazing session together today, I just wanted to say you were one of the first gals to join this group. And since day one, you have always been so motivated and engaged and just really eager to grow yourself and step into this amazing coach that you are and that you're becoming. And so I just want to first acknowledge you for that. And I felt like there was something special waiting for us to happen this month. And so I'm just so excited to be doing this with you and to hear what's coming up for you and to help you feel really activated and ignited in 2020. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I am super excited to see what this year holds for me and for you. It should be a big year for both of us.
Girl, I agree. I love it. So let's just take a big deep breath in and out. Just want to settle in a little bit. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling like there have been shifts in this past week. Energy has just been really high and it's just been feeling really intense. Mm-hmm. And so I want to make sure that we have a really safe and loving and supported space here today. And I trust that whatever is wanting to be freed for you or activated, that is exactly what will happen today. So with that, what's on your mind?
Well, the number one thing that's been on my mind is keeping myself accountable for my consistency, as well as trying to get the courage to reach out to a lot of the clients that I have in a Facebook group. So I created a Facebook group a couple months ago, and I wasn't consistent in it in the end of 2019, but at the beginning of this year, I've been in it. I've been posting, I've been trying to reach out to clients, but I haven't had the courage to do it yet. So yeah, that's what's going on so far.
So walk me through the moment where you have the idea or the like you're thinking, oh, I should reach out to such and such. What happens in that little moment in time where you go from thinking about it to deciding, oh, maybe I'll put that off for later?
So the moment that I think about doing it and I'm excited and I think I know what to say, and then all of a sudden I think the self-doubt kicks in, the fear kicks in of them, because I know how it feels for somebody to reach out and, send you this long paragraph of what they do and they want to coach you or they want you in the program, but they don't actually get to know you. And I feel like that I'm just going to be a burden to people or bother them, or that they will shoot me down so quick without actually having to hear what I say, just that I'm not going to say the right thing.
So then all of those thoughts are kind of going off in your brain and you just decide to hold off on making the outreach. Yeah. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
It is. It never ends.
So I'm suspecting that you've had people reach out to you in a way that you felt that they were trying to sell you or spam you or something like that. Is that true?
Yes, I've had that happen to me tons and tons of times. And half the time I don't reply. Like I'll start reading it just to see what they have to say. And then by the end of it, I'm like, I don't even want to reply to this person. Some of them I do because they do seem genuine and sincere and it does come from their heart. But deep down, like I know that they're just trying to sell me into something that they're going through, which to me is just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem appealing, I guess, in a way.
So let me ask you this. When I asked you if you'd be up to do this today, you said yes. Why?
Because I could get a lot of value out of being on a call with you. We've had one other call together too, which was a short 15 half-hour call, and I learned so much about what was holding me back in that short call, where I know I get a lot of value because you've shown me a lot of value, you've put a lot of value out there, and I've learned so much being in this group.
Thank you for saying that. So I'm curious. So the defining piece for you in showing up here today is that you feel like I've given value and you trust me on a certain level. Would that be true?
Yes.
So if we look at that in you and the people that you're building relationships with,
Mhm.
what could that look like?
I think I do need to provide a little bit more value. Like I said, my consistency hasn't been the greatest. So I'm in my group about once or twice a week if I feel up to it. So I think if as long as I provide a lot of value and I reach out to the people who are watching my videos or people who do like my videos, I think I can build a better, stronger relationship than not reaching out at all.
Hmm.
So, because yeah.
So I have this mentor and his name is Rich. And at this point, he has a mega coaching business. Like he's done really, really well. And he always says that coaching is simply one conversation at a time.
Mhm.
And so if we take that and apply it into what you're creating and looking to build, how could you start by just having one conversation today and one more conversation tomorrow and so forth?
I do think it would help a lot better if I at least reach out to 1 to 2 people a day, just asking them, their goals or how they're gonna reach them, and then maybe scheduling a call with them next week just to go over that and maybe build them their own like small little action plan for the week to get them over that hump. I think that will build a better relationship with them a lot quicker. So as long as I do the reach out every week or once a day, like you said, which is a very good attainable goal, instead of having to reach out to 10 to 20 people, which a lot of other people say to do it that way, which to me is a scary number. So one a day is a lot more attainable.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes we just have to make it work for us, right? Like there's so much advice out there. And I was actually on a call with a client earlier, and she's struggling to show, actually, it sounds a lot like you. She's struggling to show up consistently with her content because in her mind, she has this idea because of what she's heard that she needs to create so much content. And I had her look at how can she make it easy? And I actually gave her the challenge of making it easy. So for you, you already seem to have this awareness around the idea that 10 and 20 outreaches a day just doesn't feel aligned or doable for you. And when
Mhm.
something doesn't feel aligned with us or doable, guess what? We're not going to do it.
Mhm.
So even starting with that one person, what could happen if you were to do that consistently for say 2 weeks? So you've reached out to 14 people in 2 weeks.
I could reach out to 14 people in 2 weeks. I do believe I could potentially get my first client in out of those 14 people.
Hmm.
And that would be awesome. Like I said, it's a very attainable goal, and I think I can do it.
When you hear from that one person that they're so grateful that you connected with them and that they are so excited to be supported by you, and they have their credit card that they're ready to pull out and pay you, how is that going to feel?
Accomplishing. I think it'll be the biggest accomplishment that I would be able to have in my business yet so far this year and last year.
Hmm.
Last year I had a couple of those calls, like a coaching calls, the beginning coaching call to have, the what do they call it? Like an OTR or the opening conversation. I had a couple of those, but then at the end, wasn't able to deal with the objections. So I think this would help a lot more dealing with those objections. Plus, I've learned a lot more between that time and now. So
let's play with that for a second, because I'm really curious. If you take into account where you were then last year when you were excuse me, when you were doing those OTRs compared to where you are now, what comes to mind?
I would be a lot more confident in the beginning of the conversation, asking them the questions, trying to find out the why. And then I think I would be a
So
little
I'm
bit.
going to lovingly interrupt you. Tell me in present tense.
Okay. In present tense, I think now I would feel a lot more confident. I would feel like I would be able to handle the objections. I feel like I would be able to get them to where they need to be, and I'll have a lot more confidence in myself in putting them through the program.
Beautiful. So let's paint a scenario, and let's say you have 14 conversations in 2 weeks because you're connecting with just one person every day, right? And maybe those turn into OTRs, right? Because not everyone is going to be ready to get on the phone with you upon your first touch point, right?
Yeah.
So that might take some nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have 14 conversations and you get 14 no's. What will that mean? What will happen then?
If I get 14 no's, I think that would just mean that I would have to take a look back at how those conversations went, how I handled them myself, and if I handled them not the right way, but in a way to show them that I have the value that they need.
So understanding and really allowing yourself to see the progress you did make on those calls and the value you did provide, despite it meaning that you signed clients right away.
Mm-hmm. Yes. As long as I see the value that I provided in those conversations, I think it would mean a lot more than if I didn't know what I was doing and I was lost in the whole conversation, like as if I was back then.
I have peers that share stories of having 80 to 100 OTRs or sales calls or discovery calls, and not one conversion, not one sale. Do you want to know where those people are today?
Where?
They have impacted the world on a global level, and they have multi-7-figure businesses. And it's not about the dollar amount, it's about the number of people they have impacted, and the money is the byproduct of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can often tell how in it a coach is based on how they answer that question. And it's because we're in this culture where we expect instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And if we mess up or don't get it right in the first week or month or year, we're not going to stick in it for the long haul. But this is really a long-term game. Would you agree?
Yes, I really would. Yes, 100%.
I remember from our first conversation, Celeste, you are really wanting to lead by example for your family. You're
Mm-hmm.
wanting to really, really be of service and help a lot of people live longer lives and live better lives and healthier lives. I mean, this is a deeply rooted mission for you.
Yes. I do think that it would be a little bit more helpful if I maybe got the opinion of my family or tried to help them a little bit more, because I did give them the chance one time and I was like, you guys don't want to be in this for the long run and you're not dedicated. You wouldn't be dedicated if I did this for a free, doing the service for free, which I see that they didn't get the value out of it, that I see the value in it. So maybe now if I talk to them and not do it for free just because they're family. I mean, just because they're family doesn't mean I have to do it for free. See if they would see the value. And I think some of them are in my Facebook group that I do have, and some of them do enjoy the videos that I have, and they try. And maybe if I did the outreach to them in the beginning and gave them more value, that they would see that I have the value that they need in their lives to get them where they want to be.
Family won't always get it. And we just have to understand that our journey is our journey and their journey is their journey, right? And the best thing you can do as the leader you are is to continue to expand and grow in your journey and hope and pray that they will be watching. They're always watching, right? They just might not be the biggest support. And we often expect that our family or the people closest to us would be. And that's not always the case.
Yeah, it does make it a little bit more tough to go through it because you are in it almost alone a majority of the time if your family isn't there to support you, which I think a majority of us don't have the family there supporting us, or they don't believe in what we do. But like you said, it is their journey.
And that's what makes our communities so crucial, right? So, and if we don't find the community that we need or want, then we create the community. And so you're creating your own community, and you're a part of other communities to continue to dial in this purpose that you have with other like-minded people.
Definitely. Yeah, I do love, that's the one thing I enjoy, is being a part of all of these communities and learning from other coaches and seeing what they're going through. And if I can apply it to myself, and a majority of the time I do see myself going through like-minded things that they're going through, and I see how they work through them and how I can get myself through what I'm going through. So it's a lot of learning, definitely a lot of learning from all the other coaches and the communities that I'm in.
I can so see the growth in you in just these short months. And it's really, really cool to see you evolving into this leader and expert and coach and change maker.
I've noticed it as well. My energy has went up a million times, and it just excites me a lot more now that I have learned so much, and I keep learning, and I keep engaging on everyone's post and trying to reach out to all the other coaches saying, hey, I'm having trouble getting through this, and they're more than happy to help me get through it. Just like this coaching call, you are more than happy to help me get through some of the obstacles that I'm going through. And it's just extremely helpful, and it gives me a lot more confidence in what I'm doing, just to know that you've been through it, you've done the work, and there's always work to be done at all times.
That sounds a lot like the dynamic that you'll share with your clients, right? Like, imagine the people that will turn to you and say, thank you for taking a stand and being there and helping me know that you've been there too, and that you're now helping and supporting me. It's all just an exchange of value, right?
Definitely.
So what would feel really good for you right now?
I think what would feel really good for me would be reaching out to that one person a day, getting on those calls, reaching out to people at least once a day. Like I said, 20 people was just a crazy number. It scared the crap out of me. So doing that once a day and in my group, and doing those coaching calls and helping them attain smaller goals, and then showing them the value that I do have, would make me feel really good and boost my confidence quite a lot more.
So I'm pretty sure you had all of what you just shared, you had in mind before coming into this session. You kind of knew what you needed to do, right? Or what you need to do.
Definitely.
So why is now different?
Now it's a lot different when you talk through it and seeing it and being a little bit more aware of what is going on and why I feel the way I do, and then how to get through it and what is a more attainable goal. Now that I say it out loud, it seems a little bit silly that I was a little bit scared to do it before, because I thought I had to do those 20 people, the 15 to 20 people. It just seemed like I had to do it because everybody else was doing it, but that's not true. Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean I have to do it that way. Like you said, just make it easy. Why was I making it hard on myself to begin with? I have no idea.
Our brains love to make it hard. That's how we're hardwired.
Yeah, I definitely do that a lot to myself. Try to make it a lot harder than it needs to be.
Totally. So I'm going to give you a challenge I'm thinking 2020, or does it need to be just the first quarter? Let's make it the first quarter. This is your challenge through April. And then just check in with me at the end of April and let me know. You might still want to continue leading with this, or you might feel that it's time for something different. The challenge would be that in these next 3 to 4 months, you let everything be simple.
Okay.
Everything. If it doesn't feel simple, then we're just not going to do it.
Sounds a lot better than the way I've been trying to do it, because I have these lists of things that I need to create, things that I need to get done, and it's just overwhelming. There's so many things, and it doesn't seem like it's possible to do them all in 1 day or 2 days or even within that week. So I am making it a lot harder. So making it easier will make everything else so much easier and make everything, I think, flow a lot more than it has been.
If you were to highlight or kind of pick one thing that you know, if you did this thing every day, it would make the biggest impact in growing your business, what would that one thing be?
Reaching out to one person every single day. I love that. Like, I'm so in love with that idea. Ever since you said it, it just blew my mind. I was like, wow, why did I never think of that? Why did I feel like I was obligated to do these 15 to 20 people a day, which was just scary. Just one simple person would make the biggest difference. It's better than doing nothing at all, which I have been doing.
Sometimes we need to slow down in order to speed up. And so this is really where one conversation a day, you might find that 80% of your results come from doing just this in this first quarter of 2020. Because it's not just, it's kind of like with this activity, you're actually able to check multiple boxes at once. You're nurturing relationships with people. You're being of service, which fuels your tank, right? You're, oh my goodness, there was 2 other things. You're nurturing the relationship, you're building your tank, and I just totally had a brain block with this.
It's bringing in OTR conversations, which I wasn't having before either.
Right, and that's huge. And yes. So you are able to cultivate such confidence. This is really where your confidence will skyrocket, because you're connecting with potential customers and you're becoming more attuned with their daily challenges, with the current pain that they're in. with where they want to go. And then this will impact all of the content you create and
Mhm.
how you show up as a marketer. So it's multiple things that you are able to create out of just committing to that one conversation every day. Do you see how powerful that could be?
I do, yes. Now that it's down to one person, I do feel like it will be a lot more impactful because then I will be able to create my content around, say, one conversation that I had with that person one day. Who knows? You never know if all the other women in the group will be or see the value in that as well, or they needed to hear that, or they were looking for some help with through that obstacle as well. It could impact from 1 to 10 women in the group. You never know.
That's exactly it. You no longer have to spend time or energy thinking about what kind of content you're going to create each day. You can create content based on the conversation you're having with these people and what is coming through in those conversations. Because just like you said, if they're experiencing a certain set of challenges, you can bet that so many other people are as well.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the other struggle that I've been having is trying to create the content because everybody else batches it all in one day and creates it all and does everything in one day where I try and it doesn't work. It's like that's just overwhelming. It's too much. I can't create a video for every single day of the week on 5 different topics or it's just overwhelming. When doing that one simple conversation will make it so much easier.
Hmm. I want to add a second, like a sub piece of the challenge for you. So you're going to follow simplicity, right? And make everything as simple as possible. But
Mhm.
I also want you to say no rules. What I mean by this is there are so many people out there in our ear telling us that, oh, you should be on this platform, you should be creating X, Y, and Z, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. Don't listen to any of that. It's all noise. It's
Mhm.
all noise for you right now because you have identified the one thing that will make the biggest difference in your business. And we've already uncovered why that is for multiple reasons. And that is your strategy for the next 4 months at least. I mean, this should really become an ongoing thing for sure.
Mhm.
Until you get to a point in your business where you have leads just coming in and saying, hey, I want to work with you, which will ultimately happen, right?
Yes.
But you now have your very clear strategy, and there doesn't need to be any noise out here that could take you off that clear path.
Yeah.
No rules. Already understand that this is your business and you get to determine how you want to build it. And just because someone out here is saying do this or do that, it doesn't need to mean that Celeste needs to do this or that because she's already really clear.
Mhm. Yeah, I have to stop applying what everybody else is doing to myself and thinking that I need to do it the way they're doing it to get where I want to go a lot faster. And then I just end up not doing anything, which is worse and making it harder on myself. So no rules, one person a day. Sounds like a perfect plan for me. It really does.
Amazing. What's
So
coming up for you right now?
I just feel a lot more relaxed and not as tense about everything and not as overwhelmed about everything as I was. Just feel like I've just, a big weight has just been lifted off my shoulders about business and thinking that I have to do all these things and my list has shrunken a lot. So it makes it a lot easier. Things are a lot easier.
So are you feeling inspired to go have that conversation?
Yes, definitely inspired to go have that conversation before I head to work in about a little bit.
So here's what I propose. It is 1:37 Eastern, so 12:37 your time. So sometimes, you know, we might coach until there's a big insight that you needed, and that could take 5 minutes, it could take 30. So my instinct is that you got the insight you needed, which means we can end right here, right now, and send you off into the world to be of service and take the next 15 or so minutes that we would have spent here and start to have that one conversation. And you'll have that and head off to work feeling really damn good.
Yeah,
About that.
that sounds amazing. It sounds perfect. Sounds very doable. Definitely makes me feel a lot better about going forward with my business and going forward each day with an open mind about just having the one conversation. Now I know my goal for the day instead of in the morning trying to figure out what do I need to do for my business today? What do I need to get done? What do I need to post today? And then getting all worked up and overwhelmed where now I know what my goal is. One conversation a day, and that's it. One conversation. Don't listen to anybody else's rules. It's your rules.
Beautiful. We have tunnel vision.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, one super ninja tip I want to just offer to you, because you mentioned, you know, having been on the receiving end of those DMs that just feel gross and salesy. And so I want you to think about, before you make that outreach, what is a message that you would love to receive? And send that.
Okay, yeah. I can like create kind of like a template that I would love to hear from somebody. So maybe I'll go back into all those messages that I've received and see which ones that I've actually responded to because I liked something that they said and go off of that. I like that. I love that. It's an awesome idea.
Great. Your only job right now is to lead and be of service. When you do that, you will already set yourself apart from the rest of the world who are just really trying to sell and they're in it for their own gain. You will already be positioned so much differently, and the people will feel that. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what I need to do to set myself apart from everybody else that does sell, and we figured it out.
I can't wait to hear what happens and how things progress. Before we close the session, are there any last minute appreciations that you want to share?
Yeah, I extremely want to appreciate you for inviting me out on this call. Like I said, I've been looking forward to hoping that I was able to do one of these calls because it is a great experience. I absolutely loved it and enjoyed it, and it definitely gave me a lot of clarity on my business going forward. And now I don't have that, what they call the critter brain going on anymore. That fear has left the building. It's tunnel vision now. I get to do it on my own.
Yes, girl, death to that critter brain.
Yes, didn't need it and I had it for quite a while. So happy it's gone.
Simple and no rules. That's what this is about, okay?
Yes. Awesome.
Thank you for playing today. This was so much fun, and I can't wait to stay connected and see what happens for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me today,
My
Stephanie.
pleasure. All right, talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Bye.